Serious students of the Bible often struggle with the book of Proverbs because they can't break it down neatly into sections and study it systematically like they do other parts of the Bible. It just seems like the Proverbs are jumping around from one topic to another, and so they just move on to another part of the Bible and study it instead. Other people, when they approach the Proverbs, are kind of like a woman who's digging around in her purse for something she needs, and she's sure that it's in there somewhere. They sift through the Proverbs, searching and searching for something that seems to promise them riches and long life and well-behaved children. So most of the time, the book of Proverbs is either misunderstood or generally just ignored. And that's sad because the Proverbs are such a treasure if we have the eyes to see them. If we will take the time to meditate on them with an honest heart, we will find simple and clear principles for a fruitful, a satisfying, and a godly life. In today's reading from Proverbs 2 and 3, Solomon takes the big principle of Proverbs and makes it very clear to us, and that's this: life is found when we truly seek to know God, when we truly desire to walk in God's wisdom. Solomon begins chapter 2 with a big promise that sounds kind of similar to Jeremiah 29:13, where the Lord says, "You will seek me, and you will find me when you seek me with all your heart." And James 1:5, where it says, "If anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask God, and it will be given to him." Solomon says, "If you seek wisdom like hidden treasure, then you will discover the knowledge of God, for the Lord gives wisdom." And when we have God's wisdom, he says we'll be able to discern righteousness and justice and the right way to live. We will have discretion to guard our hearts and minds, to deliver us from temptation and from the enticements of sin. The key idea in this section, which summarizes in general what Proverbs is telling us throughout, is a very familiar passage. Chapter 3, verses 5 to 6, where he says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." Now, many people misinterpret this to mean that if they trust the Lord, he's going to bless all their plans and make their path to success really smooth. But that's not what he's saying. He's saying there are two ways to set the course of your life. One way is to make the foolish decision of choosing to move according to what seems best to you, what he calls leaning on your own understanding. Proverbs is filled with warnings about the consequences of foolishness. And the ultimate heart of foolishness in Proverbs is to think that we can direct our own lives, that we know the right way that we ought to go. It is an option. He says in Proverbs 14, verse 12, that there is a way that seems right to a man, but he says in the end, that way is the path that leads to death. But the Lord offers us another way, a way that actually leads to life, if we will trust him. Not trust him for the power to cause our chosen paths to reach their destination, but to trust his wisdom and allow him to choose our path and our destination. He's not saying that if we go to church and read our Bibles and pray, then he'll make all of our plans succeed. He's saying if we surrender our lives completely into his hands, he promises that he will lead us in the right way. Trusting the Lord means full surrender. He doesn't make our paths straight. He points us to his path, the path to real life, and then he shows us how to walk in it one step at a time. He says the result of surrendering to his wisdom, the result of walking in his path, is a happiness, a peace, a confidence, and a security in our hearts that is more valuable than any temporary treasure that this world has to offer.